Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Gold Nugget Gang Podcast. We are in a new environment today. We're actually in a space called TPC. If you Google TPC on Google, a bit hard to find.
It's the private collective.
Yes, you must type out the private collective, not just TPC. So today in front of us we have Gabe.
Yeah.
Right.
Hi guys.
Hello. So Gabe, why don't you introduce yourself and can you tell us what you're doing here at what you do here at the private collective?
And how it all began.
Well, how
Story,
it all
so you
began.
start first.
Okay.
Who are you? What
Sure.
So are you?
So my name is Gabriel. I work for the private collective Singapore, and I mainly manage the Pokemon side of things. So for TBC, we do both sports cards as well as Pokemon cards. Primarily, we focus on sourcing as well as consignments of like high-end slabs, high-end silk product, etc. And we also have like our own personal collection. So we actually have a branch in Malaysia, KL as well.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And we are also looking to expand to probably Indonesia soon. So Singapore outlet was the first one. It's been open for close to 3 years now. But for myself, I'm actually very new in the space. So I joined TPC less than a year ago, actually.
Okay.
So I only joined in April last year, I think. And actually before that, I had no experience in Pokemon cards whatsoever. So it's been a very interesting few months, I think, to say the least. Yeah.
But you've been buying, so a bit of history. So I think I met Gabe at SG Card Show about 2 iterations ago. So maybe about...
It's probably June, I think.
Yeah, June last year.
Last year, June.
Yeah. So... No, actually, I met him even before that at the another card show, which was at Orchard. You first came to me and you wanted to buy an unknown card.
Yes.
So I had 2 unknown cards previously, and you wanted to buy 1 card. Then he is thinking, "Can let me think about it."
Yeah.
So I held on to it. I held on to that card for a good
2-3 months at least. Yeah.
Then I think 1 trade show passed, nobody bought. Then another trade show passed, then some uncle, no, it's the same trade show he came to ask me. So the same trade show he came, so he asked, some guy came to buy the card. Then after that, an hour later, Gabe came, "Hey Nick, remember me? I want to buy this card." Then I said, "I just sold it."
Literally like
so it's a very memorable.
Oh, it was so funny.
It's an eventful moment.
It was pretty traumatizing for me.
But in the end, you got the card. You got the card. So it's okay.
I think the first time for me when I met Gabe was... I think it was one of the... I forgot. It's one of the trade shows.
Probably Colexicon, I think.
Colexicon, yeah. Because I remember he one day bought one color, next day he bought another color. Because, from Wall 250, we got different colors, right? So one of the day, I think he bought the red one first.
Yeah.
Then the next day he came, bro, I think I'll come and buy the silver.
The pink and the green one after that,
Basically, he has all the colors.
Multiples.
Multiple color. Multiple versions of multiple colors.
Yeah.
So that's how I got to know him.
Yeah. I think it was at one point it was like every trade show that I see you guys, I would just buy at least 1 case.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very disposable. Yeah. That's the fact that it almost seems like you every trade show buy is like, I buy and you buy. But you do use them lah.
I think how I see it is he goes empty-handed and he goes back home with a case
and full of steps
and full of things inside. That's
like a Japan trip. You go to Japan with nothing, right?
And
you go there buy a luggage.
That's him.
Exactly. At a trade show. Yeah. So I think one thing that you mentioned about the private collectives, you mentioned about your role, but what do you sort of do? You say you're overseeing the Pokemon side.
Yep.
What's your day-to-day? What do you sort of do on a day-to-day basis? Like what are the main things that you try and cover? With
I think it's a fair question. I think actually since the day that I joined up to now, it's been it's been constantly changing lah. And I think actually most of us can agree in the last 10 months, the market has been exploding, and at every point in time something is hot, and then it changes the next day, and it's been pretty crazy. So I think when I joined, it was a pretty interesting time because I would say the boom hasn't officially started yet. Early last year. And it was very interesting. I met the owner at a trade show a few months before. We became friends, and in the end I ended up joining the company. But I basically had pretty much no experience in cards other than maybe 2-3 years ago I was ripping 151 when it came out, which was where most of the adults with money came back.
The nostalgia factor lah.
Yeah, and then obviously when I was younger as a kid I collected lah, but it wasn't like a very serious slab collector or anything like some of the OGs like Mel2 Strikes Back and aka Vault, these guys, they've been collecting for 7-8 years. So I think my entry into the space was very different from most people. I had just left my previous career behind, and then I was just looking for something interesting to do lah. So I think I felt that cards is kind of interesting because I was actually in crypto before. I felt that actually cards has a lot of things that a lot of these NFT projects they are trying to accomplish, but the IP is not strong enough. There's no physical good to it, and I was like, I feel that most of these crypto bros and eventually they're gonna move into Pokemon cards, So that's what kind of like piqued my interest into the space lah. So when I joined TPC, at that point in time, they didn't have a Pokemon team in place. I think they had just a few of them had just left. So I was essentially the first person in the team, and then basically it was like, now I have to figure this out lah. Like how do I use alt to com and stuff like that? What's a slab even? Then we started doing with singles. So we went to Japan, we bought like a ton of raw singles, and then that was kind of how we started. Yeah, so basically from ground zero, and then from there we started moving into lower end slabs. Then eventually we moved to high end like pretty quickly lah. So I think it was probably about 5 months, 6 months in when I bought my first high end slab, and then it was a very quick flip. So it was quite a crazy story. I bought a Legendary Collection Snorlax Reverse Hollow PSA 10. Yeah. So the long story short was I bought it for 12.4 thousand USD. And then when I received the card, I was in Dubai. I got it from a friend. I stickered it at 30,000 and it sold. Yeah, within like 30 minutes.
Wow.
So right after that, I was like, I never want to deal with low-end cards ever again. So we offloaded all of our singles, all of our low-end inventory, and then we just primarily focus on high-end stuff.
Change model lah.
So we adjusted completely. So I think from there we also started to work with more private collectors or personal collectors. So I think we're very different from most of the we're not a card shop lah. I think we wouldn't categorize ourselves as a card shop. I would say we are more of a private high-end dealer. So the type of clientele that we work with, they pretty much very similar to us. They grew up with Pokemon and now they have adult money. So they'll go, I have a client that's like, I love Gengar. I want a master set. Every Gengar in a PSA 10, and here's $500,000 to start lah. So we start sourcing for cards for them, and we pretty much just earn the commissions in between. So I think it's I feel it's a lot more enjoyable because vending is very tiring lah.
It is. It is.
Yeah. So I mean that was very very elaborate, and you covered quite a lot of things. I think there's a few things to pick apart from there lah. But so the business side that you've sort of helped to grow in the Pokemon aspect, you really sort of move from the low end to the high end stuff. I think for curious, maybe for myself and for viewers also maybe interested, is like what you were saying that there's a boom. Like, would you say that we're in the boom now, or would you say that there's more booms to come? Because you've seen the high end cards like the Snorlax,
Right.
you know, 12,000 to 30,000, right?
Right.
Like, you know, from your personal experience, you know, overseeing this high-end market over the past few months, right? Past few 10
Yeah.
months, you were saying. Like, do you think that there's a bigger boom coming, or where we've reached a maximum capacity in terms of where the boom is?
Okay. So I think first off, disclaimer: this is not financial
Of course,
advice. Before
Very
I
big
go ahead,
disclaimer.
Yeah.
So do your own
Don't buy,
research.
don't buy, do your own
Yeah.
research. Yeah.
But I think that my view of the market has changed a bit in the last few months, lah. So initially, you know, I would say like maybe in September, October last year, my thesis was that I suspected that the market would actually crash right before the 30th anniversary.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was kind of what we were expecting, because we saw that, you know, I think the number one thing that super triggered me was when Bubble Meal went from like, you know, $300 to like $1,000, right? And I was like, okay, this is like super scary. Like, it makes no sense because, you know, it's super high pop and stuff like that, and it's a modern card. So that actually really scared me, and we decided to sell out all of our modern inventory. Yeah, so that was like one of our first big moves, where we completely exited modern. And then I think because of that, I was like, okay, I think there's going to be a very big correction coming, and I suspect that it would happen before the 30th anniversary, because everybody's going to think that, 30th anniversary is going to pump, And that's the best time to dump, you know, human nature is like that. So, you know, we were planning like, okay, you know, we need to be careful. Don't hold too much inventory when February comes, you know, and try and get out of most of our positions before then, lah. So that's also, you know, we also sold like some of the boxes in our personal collection. I think most people, when they asked me, I was like, we're looking to get out by like before the end of Q3 in 2026, because it's going to be all-time high, and then it's the best time to liquidate, especially silk products. It's a lot harder to sell. So we're like, okay, don't be greedy, we get out, and then market's probably going to crash, lah. But I think a lot of things changed since then, because what has happened is there's a lot of money from private equity that's coming in. You know, so the way that we understand the market is that a lot of these guys, they raise a lot of money to start buying up alternative assets, and cards is of course one of the things that they are targeting, lah. So you know, these guys, they raise hundreds of millions of dollars in the US, and they've been buying up you know, the one-of-one sports cards, like the Kobe's, the Jordans, you know, like Kevin O'Leary bought a card for I think $8 million or something, and they're buying very, very heavy to try and deploy all of their capital. Yeah. So what we kind of realized is that there's only so many sports cards that they can buy, and they have a ton of money left. So you know, in the US, a lot of vendors in the States started getting swept. You know, a lot of people were buying them out, and because we travel a lot, so you know, we have we're very updated, lah. You know, the information about what's happening overseas. Yeah, so I was like, okay, like, you know, basically money is going to flow downwards from sports to Pokemon. But the problem with Pokemon is that compared to sports, the market is too small.
It's quite niche.
It's very small. So it's like, if you think about it, the Illustrator was the most expensive card in the world, and it's only $5 million, right? To a lot of people, they think, yes, $5 million is not a small amount of money, but you know, this is the highest that it can go. So in Pokemon, when we talk about it's an expensive card or it's a high-end card, we're talking about, you know, $10,000, you know, is considered expensive. But in sports terms, expensive card is like $200,000, you know, and I would say like 6 months ago, there weren't a lot of Pokemon cards that were in the six-figure range, let alone the seven figures, right? So I think because of that, the recent auction with Golden, you know, all-time high for Illustrator, all-time high for a lot of things. People are starting to buy a lot of high-end, and people are very unwilling to sell. So even, you know, for example, in my most recent trip, when I wanted to buy a card, you know, and the seller was like, he refused to outright sell it for cash. He was like, I need to have some upside, so I wanna take something from you as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so we ended up having to do a cash plus trade lah, because he refused. I was like, bro, like, I really don't want to give you this card. The market value is like, 30K. I'll just pay you the 30,000. He's like, I don't want the money, I want the card. Yeah. And right after he took the card, like now it's worth like 35K and it's really up lah. So I think it's very difficult to buy now. But anyways, back to the original question. I think that there's definitely still room to grow. But it really depends on what you are buying as well lah. Yeah, so certain cards are definitely overvalued. I think certain cards are considered undervalued in my opinion, but it's definitely going up as a whole lah, I feel.
Okay. So let's say somebody's a new collector lah, right? Not financial advice or anything, but like what are the things that you look out for that in your measure for underpriced or overpriced, because you mentioned that some do you have some key tells that you sort of look out for? Like, okay, is it a pop or is it
the favoritism
the
of Pokemon
or things like that?
Wow.
Yeah, just based on
like
your
No, I mean it's
not to give any trade secrets away, but just generally speaking, like
I feel it's an educational kind of
for sure
kind of thing.
For sure.
So especially now, a lot of kids are coming into the hobby. I mean, because of like the social media aspect of it.
Right.
So a lot of kids coming in thinking that it's like, oh, this one can make money, fast cash.
Yeah.
So I guess, coming from a person who is dealing with a lot of high-end stuff and who have been going around looking at high-end stuff, it will be better for the younger audience to like kind of gather some knowledge
right.
in this aspect. Yeah.
For sure. So I think that well, first of all, I think as with all things investment related, if we're talking about this from a monetary perspective, obviously don't over leverage yourself. So don't put in money that you can't afford to lose, right? I think that's very important. If you're just collecting for the love of the hobby, just buy things that you like, But if we're talking strictly from a financial perspective, for us, we definitely target vintage cards, 100%. So we don't touch modern at all. And then I think in terms of vintage, we also very specifically only buy Japanese cards, actually. Yeah. So, the main reason is because we Japanese cards are everybody buys Japanese cards, right? Even the Americans. But not everybody buys English cards. So if we're talking about which countries are super into Pokemon, like of course there's Japan, right? China is buying very, very strong, but they don't buy English. And if they do, it's very rare lah. So for me, I think because we do it as a career, as a business, liquidity is very important, right? If you have more people who are willing to buy or looking for the card, then when you want to sell it, you can sell it easier. Yeah. So for that reason, we don't really buy English. I think the only exception to that is like Legendary Collection because it's English exclusive. So that's pretty much the only thing that I've been buying lah. But I think aside from that, so we buy Japanese vintage. But unfortunately now Japanese vintage is already pumping in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Everything has Gengars have gone up 2 to 3x. It's crazy. Like they were sitting in everybody's display for 4K, like a Sabrina's Gengar. Nobody wanted to buy. Now it's like 11, 13,000. It's absolutely crazy lah. I think that people are starting to realize that Japanese vintage is generally very undervalued. If you compare it to the English counterparts, the population, you'll see that there are certain cards where it doesn't really make sense. Where let's say I don't know, like crystals, for example. I would say like a Skyreach or a Aquapolis Lugia or a Skyreach Zat, population is not very high for the PSA 10s, but the Japanese ones are also pretty low. But the price differential at that point in time, the English one is maybe like 30,000-40,000 at that time, and then the Japanese one is like 10K, and it's like okay, but then more people, the Japanese ones actually look nicer, and I think more people are gonna want it. So I actually bought up a lot of crystals very early on, and I was paying above market, and people thought that I was crazy lah. Like, and then until recent news now, the crystal Lugia is like flying, and they has a possible reprint. So I think like those were some of the more like niche plays where it's like, okay, I think there's like this should not be valued at this price, So we buy very, very heavy, but of course it's not something that everybody can do, because these cards are generally very expensive. So I think like as a casual collector, I still think there's a market for raw cards, singles for sure. In fact, if you are talking about vending at trade shows locally in Singapore, like or anywhere else, actually, I think singles move more than slabs in general. Yeah, so I think vintage singles are still relatively undervalued, especially like the copies that are not mint lah. Because like the prices have been pumping too quickly. So it's kind of like, let's say a Japanese Charizard, base set Charizard, PSA 10 is maybe like 34,000 USD now. And then the 9 is like maybe, I'm not sure, but maybe like 3 to 4K or something along those lines. And then the 8 is like $500, and the PSA 1 is like $200, something like that. So like it takes time for all the lower grades to kind of like adjust. So if you buy them raw now and then eventually the prices go up, like you can kind of make money from there lah, but it takes time to go and hunt and stuff like that. I think the days of it being on the shelves in Japan, they are kind of gone already.
I think it's gone already. So, my previous trip to Japan also, most of the things cannot be like cannot buy on. It's really cannot buy on.
Tokyo was empty when I was there. No, the only thing that was on for sale was a 2016 Festa for 7.7 million yen at Sneaker Dunk. They're asking like 65,000 Sing or something. It's ridiculous.
But like to add to your point, I guess market research has to be done.
100%.
So like especially when you want to do any form of like anything to do with money and stuff and something that you want to get into, I guess market research should be done, and also your risk factor. Like you have to put that into account also. Because if you don't, then it's very difficult. Like you will be very what they were screen watching. Like you will be just looking at screen, seeing whether it go up, go down, go down. So it will be very emotional. People will just like, I think just dump it and just move away from it. So got to be very
disciplined
in the area.
100%.
So actually, you covered quite a bit. I mean, you I think you gave us a very good insight in terms of the high-end stuff and what you do for the private collective. I think just to add on to that a little bit, I have a question which is regarding to like, the private collective has been around in Singapore for, you were saying, about 3 years, right? Now it's growing and expanding to the other areas in Southeast Asia as well. I mean, if we use this as an ad to call out to your customers, right? Your potential new customers. Who do you think who would you like want to sort of try to bring into as new customers within the region?
So I think for us, I guess one more thing also to add in terms of market research and all of that is it's very important to know other vendors, because especially for higher end stuff, they typically do not transact online. So if you were to check certain cards, you will see a very outdated price, and sometimes that is where there are a lot of opportunities, because let's say if you own this vintage card for 10 years and then now you check online, it says $20,000, but actually it transacted for 100K, and you don't know about it. That is where you as a collector might lose out lah. And then or even as a vendor, but so that's why we know a lot of people who deal in high end, and that's how we get updated and the trends and the prices. I think in terms of who we want to shout out to, it's whether you are a potential customer sourcing for a grill and you need someone to help you out, or you're just another vendor that deals in high end and we could potentially work together. I think that would be cool lah. Because we make a lot of friends lah, because typically we like to we buy a lot of stuff. So we deal with a lot of the international high-end vendors, because we typically pay pretty strong. Obviously with the collectors that we work with, price is not really an issue for them. So they are willing to pay premium, and that's why we can pay vendors more, and everybody is happy lah. So whether you're a high net worth collector or you're a high end vendor, I think definitely reach out to us.
Yeah, I guess the way you describe it is like, these high end people. You also mentioned a archetype just now, which is the people that have left the crypto scene, right? To try and move to maybe say want to diversify their funds or things like alternative assets as well. So that could be So if you're sitting on millions of dollars and you don't know what to do it, give Gabe a call. Help
for
you.
Sure.
It'll be fun because you've got it's Pokemon or it's sports or maybe even One Piece as well. You can look at it. And you can always get Gabe to sort of help you out.
It's something more tangible. I mean, you can
for sure.
Compared to like your cryptos where you looking through screens.
At least you can smell. You can smell the card.
Yeah.
You can also put it in a box and you can take it with you. You can put it in a vault box and take it with you. I think one of the questions that we also have is like, maybe since you've been dealing with a lot of different types of cards, right? What is the most unique transaction that you've done over this 1 year? From number one, a card perspective, and from a deal perspective. Because one is like, what's the most unique card you've just dealt with? And then the second one is, what is the most like unique transaction you just had? Like it's just transaction that just like wow.
I was actually about to ask that question.
I mean, we've done like there's quite a few of those, but I guess so the most recent deal that we did that was pretty big was for some of our personal collection, our boxes. So the video is actually on our Instagram. There was a sale for a first edition base set box along with a few other boxes. So the deal was close to $1 million USD. The buyer was in Saudi Arabia and we didn't know who he was. We were dealing with the middleman. And like honestly, we were kind of afraid like to be fair. So our friend Douglas was the one who from AKA Vault, he was the one helping us to facilitate the deal. So myself and Douglas and my boss, we flew down to Saudi without knowing anything. Like up until the point where we got on the plane, we still didn't know where we were staying. Then we were joking we were like, okay, guys, I think we're gonna end up as a duck trio in the middle of the desert. Like when we reach the airport, they're just gonna drive us out, bury us in the sand, and take all our boxes. Bro, it was. I mean, it was pretty scary
I'm sure
it was super sketch
scary,
honestly. So like Doug was like, but he knows the middleman. Like he met him before. It should be okay but bro, he met him once So I mean, I wouldn't. I should.
You wouldn't take it like
I wasn't. So I was like, guys, like I don't know what's gonna happen but okay, YOLO. So
just get ready.
Buy travel insurance.
I don't think so actually.
All the money was already they carry already, bro.
So we were they booked the flight for us, the hotels and everything. And then, and then like when we went to the Changi airport, we got into the went to claim the tickets and we were like, they booked business class for us. Then I was still joking I was like, guys, it's only business class. It's like 24K, they still up, So we're like, okay, then we got there, then brought us to a 5-star hotel, okay. Then it's like slowly, a little bit less unlikely we're gonna end up in the desert. But up until the point where we left, up until the point where we actually met the guy and then I was still a bit like, okay, I don't know what's happening. So I think that was like very interesting, aside from the deal size. And then I mean in terms of the most interesting card, probably, I don't know, like probably the one that I just did. So we picked up a Masaki PSA 10 Gengar, and also a LC Gengar PSA 10. So it was very interesting deal, but so to give some context, right? Like I've been looking for these two cards for my client for a very long time. But I've never seen a copy in person, and I've never found a copy that I felt was clean enough to buy at that point. To buy at that point in time, So It was very weird because when I went to the US, I was at CollectorCon Miami. There was nothing to buy because nobody was selling shit. And then I just met up with some of my friends. One of my friends brought his friend along. It's like, okay, let's go for coffee. So we were at a coffee shop and I was talking to this guy. His name is Anthony. From Any Rare Trading, shout out. Yeah, so Anthony was like, oh, are you vending? He's like, no, we're just walking. I was like, oh, okay, like, can I take a look at your case? He said, sure. So I opened his case. The first thing I saw was the LC Gengar. I was like, what the heck is this doing in here, dude? Yeah, so we ended up doing the deal.
Nice.
And then suddenly, after I posted that I bought it, someone else texted me about another copy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I actually also procured that other copy. So yeah, so from having no copies for 8 months to suddenly
Two copies
at the same time,
Yeah.
and it's Pop 11. And then we are potentially buying a third lah, So
Once 30% of all the pieces.
yeah. So that was interesting. And then apparently someone who wanted the LC Gengar happened to have a Masaki. And then we bought it off of him also. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then the guy was in Korea. So we sent one of our guys to Korea to collect the card from him and to do the deal lah.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was so random. Like really, I think the amazing thing is really like it's like in this industry, right? The most random things can happen when you least expect it.
I can totally agree to that.
Yeah, it's like I go to CollectorCon thinking that okay, I'm gonna buy so much stuff, and there's like nothing there to buy. But then I meet like random people. We go for coffee, we go for drinks, and then suddenly like, hey, okay, these guys all like sold me stuff,
100K.
Yeah, then suddenly it's like, oh, all the grills like just appear from this random guy's backpack, It's like it's not even vending at the show. Yeah, so now because of that we actually like stopped vending. We tend to just go to the shows and then we just meet people. A lot easier lah. Yeah, I think it's the days of finding grills displayed in showcases is gone already lah.
Yeah. I mean now most of the time what people do is they'll put it there and they will say it's PC.
Or not for,
and then not for sale, or you offer me.
Yeah.
Then if you offer a ridiculous, you think about it, you offer a ridiculous number, and you really need the cash, you will just let it go lah. But if it's your own personal collection and it's something that's very hard to come by, I think whatever money you throw, so maybe you'll be considering twice.
Yeah, it's very hard lah. Because now I think at this point it's like if you really like the card, if you sell it now, how are you ever gonna get it back?
Exactly.
It's like impossible.
Exactly.
Yeah. I really regret selling the Festas because we had 2 copies. The first one we sold I think at 20K, 18K USD. At that time it was very high.
Yeah.
And then the second copy, like I didn't want to sell because we wanted to keep it for display.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, please sell it to me. I was like, okay bro, like market's like 26K. If you really want it, I'll sell it to you for like 30 SGD lah. So we sold it. And then after that, I didn't buy another copy, and now it's like 60,000. So I'm just like, okay, I don't think we're gonna own that card anymore. Like,
there's this kind of regrets that as collectors we will definitely encounter lah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it's something that I think I wouldn't say need to get numb about it, but more to like it is part of the journey lah. It is part of the journey.
For sure.
So I shall go through some therapy for myself now. Since you talk about your Masaki, right?
Over there, that fella there is a Masaki collector. So he has everything except for 10.
So I think this was maybe early 2005.
Okay. Oh wow, that's a long time
Early
ago.
2005 or late 2004 about there. I there was one copy that was sold within the local circle to one guy. He bought it for I think 20,000. Then price dropped a bit.
Right.
Then he was asking 15. I was thinking, wow, 15K for a card, damn X. Then I think I wanted to do a trade lah. I was thinking, I have this stuff, you want to trade, blah blah. I think in the end he said, I was giving him trade valuation about 14,000. Then I think he decided, you want 15K cash or not? Then I think by the time I decided to go and get it, he sold it off in somewhere else.
Gosh.
And that's 15,000. The thing now is not, my 9 when I bought, it was like $1,000 for a 9, right? Now the 9 is 15,000.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. It's like back then when I got into the hobby, that was like wine. Back into the hobby because we used to be playing, then after that we stopped playing, then after that got into the hobby. So I think it was 2017, 2018. So I bought a Team Rocket Mewtwo EX.
Okay.
Yeah. So back then I think it was like not much like a $700 or whatever. Then I'm thinking, oh, $700 for a card is damn expensive.
Yeah.
Now the same copy is like crazy, Yeah. So I mean the times have changed now. Like if 700, I just 700 I take all. Now you're like what you say, you were dealing with 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures. So it's this kind of money that at times will be scary
Of course,
it will be scary. But if you can afford it, then go for it
I think that's very important. Because I think like a lot of vendors, they are very overextended.
Oh, really?
So not even just here in Singapore, but I think in the States, it's also something that is very common. So, like for example, right, in the US, if let's say you go to some vendors and you ask them to do buybacks, they mostly don't have any cash on them.
Oh, okay.
So all of their money, right, is in inventory. Which is very, very scary because if let's say in October, November, there was a correction for all the mid-era stuff, you're kind of like screwed at that point. So what they do is they go there with all the inventory, they will start selling to recoup cash, and then they use that to buy back. Some vendors, if let's say they cannot sell much, right, and they need cash, they will just go to another vendor and just sell at like the 85%, 80%.
Okay.
Yeah, so vendor to vendor deals are actually very, very common in the US, more so than the B2C Then I mean in Singapore it happens but not as common. I think. So a lot of people they start buying stuff that they actually cannot afford to hold. So it's like, let's say if your total inventory value is like 200-300K, then you buy a card for like 80,000. It's like, oh my god, dude, like that's like a third of your 1/3 of your total capital. If this card drops in value, you're kind of screwed, and it's not easy to sell cards in that quantum unless you really have a ready buyer. So it's quite scary because like in this space, like now everyone thinks that everything is going up. They are right, but to what extent? Then even if it reaches that price, can you actually sell that card? So for us, it's like we don't mind. It's like, okay, you know what? Like we can buy this card. We think it's undervalued. If it goes up, good for us. If it goes down, we just buy more. And we just wait 5 years. We're okay.
Stock it up. Just stock it up.
Yeah. So but we still take like profits along the way. So we treat it like really like a monetary vehicle where it's like, okay, you buy at this price, you need to have a selling price in mind. You sell, take profit, and then you find another opportunity to re-enter but you cannot always be like, oh, it's gonna keep going up. Then you don't sell, right? It will be very mentally taxing I think.
Because I mean, I think there's a lot of collectors that think in that manner today.
Yes.
Which is to say that, let's say somebody has a Festa that they bought a few years ago. Then they're saying it's going up, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to hold. I'm just going to ride the wave. I'm going to ride all the way. Then I think a lot of people holding, and there are some people that have bought in at 30 or even 40 or 50% the Festa, right? And they're just holding because they are seeing that the wave will keep tsunamiing.
But that's where just now we were saying, I mean, these are the screen watchers because they are anticipating for the wave and when the wave crash. So they don't want to be part of the crashing of the wave. So then comes the emotional part it's coming down. How much I don't want to lose anymore. I just sell. That kind of thing. It's
panic
the same.
selling.
Panic selling. So it's the same as all your stocks and share kind of thing. Like one fella just buy all the stock and then shorts the whole thing. Kind of thing.
So for me, I mean, I think I have a similar mindset to where you're standing because I had to me I collected a lot. I never managed to get the master set of 10 right? But I collected. I tried to collect every single Gengar in the PSA There's some 8, some 9, some 10. Right. So when I was looking at them and I was like, there's no joy because it's a personal collection. It wasn't like inventory for me. It was my personal collection, and I was like, maybe the joy not there maybe or whatever maybe I got tired or whatever it was
the Marie Kondo joy not there already.
So I thought about it. Okay, yes, if I hold it for longer, it may go up. Which today it has gone up, right? But at that point of time, to me it was like it doesn't matter. I'll just let go at this price. And because to me there was some high value and then there was some low value. In it. So but to me it's just I let it go at one shot and then I don't have to think about it now. Because as a collector sometimes it's like because I spend a lot of time to sort of build that, right? If I one by one go and sell, then it's a bit like a bit. But
a piece of you destroyed.
Then I'm like, then it felt a bit like, if I let go halfway, then what if I want to return and then come get back, you know? So I thought, okay, if there's an opportunity somebody wanted to just take, then I said, okay, I'll close my eye, okay, let it go. Then I just keep a few that still have some joy lah.
Which is what I did for the Prime. Super long ago. I sold the whole Prime set.
Oh wow.
For 2 K.
In tens?
No,
not all tens. There are a couple of tens.
No tens all
No, 110. I think 110.
Can't remember which one.
Is it English or
English?
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So then I think the lowest one was 6 Helix.
Okay.
And that one is a personal collection kind of like it took me and Afiq, we both went around finding for it.
Right.
So it's like a pet project kind of thing. And then I sent myself to grade. I mean, those expensive cards came back good grade lah. Those non-expensive one came back bad grade. So it's still okay.
Sure.
But I sell it as a set because to me it was like it's a unique set at that period of time. If I kept it, I think now it would be different. But to me, it's like, you know what? It's a unique set and let another person enjoy it.
For sure.
Yeah. But
So I mean, from your professional opinion, will I be able to get a Masaki 10? Do you if you're my not
advisor,
not financial advisor, but
Pokemon
if
advisor.
You're my Pokemon advisor, Pokemon investment consultant advisor.
I think got you job description.
I think I'm gonna get a call from MAS already, bro. The way you're describing.
Then how do you think in any future, whether we want to talk multiverse future, in any future, do you think I'll be able to buy that back? In the price that was in that?
No.
Impossible, right?
Yeah.
No, I got this feeling even if the dip happens, right? It will be a new high. You know, it won't go down to what it was. It will be a new high. Like that will be the current low. New low. That will be a current low.
Interesting.
I mean, I honestly think that for anything that is high end, right? I don't think it will ever dip again. Very honestly. So whether or not it keeps increasing in value is one thing. But I don't think the price will ever drop. Because there's just too many people that is looking to buy already. So like for example, if you say that can you ever get a Masaki PSA 10 at $20,000? Well, I mean, there's 89 of them lah. And let's say if someone like me, I'm looking to buy 10 copies. And I'm willing to pay $100,000. Then what is the odds of you ever getting
finding one?
And I'm just one person, you know. You know, we have like 3 to 4 friends all looking for the Masaki. So everybody is like prepared to pay 100K. So it's very, very difficult lah, I would say. That's why at this point, I was sharing with some of my friends who are also vendors that I think that it really has come to a point, right, where you really need to grow a pair. Because it's like if you are not willing to pay all-time high, right, you cannot buy anything. So that has been like for me. I think even before the most recent boom, like in the last 1 month, like last year, towards the end of last year, right, I started buying a lot of higher end stuff, and I was paying like above market. That's why a lot of people were like selling them to me because it's like last sold maybe 12K, I'll pay like 15, 16. And then. So I stocked up on a lot of these because I felt that they are super undervalued. Nobody's looking at them now because everybody just look at Gold Stars only.
There was one period.
So now also, bro, like Gold Stars are back again already. It's crazy. And just a fun fact, I'm probably the only high-end dealer in the world, right, that has never bought or sold a Gold Star. I hate them. I hate them. Like, I just absolutely hate it. Like, So, anytime someone comes to me about a deal with Gold Stars, right, I just send them to AKA Vault.
Your Pokemon brother.
Yeah, my brother, my twin. So it's like, bro, he's the king of Gold Stars.
Yes.
Like, just go to him. Like, I don't deal with this shit. Then he keeps telling me, bro, buy Gold Stars. I say, bro, for me to buy Gold Stars, you have to burn every other Pokemon card to ash before I go and buy Gold Stars. Like I refuse, man. Like
Where does this hate for gold stars come from? I'm curious.
Because so there are some arts in the gold star is unique and it's nice.
Okay.
But then your hesitant and your frustration on the cards, it's like
It's not
coming out
unrelated
from somewhere.
As in, okay, so I think the first factor was that, first of all, I don't like the art for most of them.
Okay.
I think most of them are
Fair,
pretty
fair.
ugly. Like I think some of them like the ray, the tree starters, they're quite cute lah.
Yeah.
But most of them, I think the art is damn ugly.
Okay.
That's one. The other thing is because when I first started in this industry, right, gold stars were already expensive. And every single voucher in Singapore were already like
Hunting for
them and stuff. So I was like there's no point. Then obviously there's Doug, who is, you know, the king of gold stars. I keep calling him that, but literally he is that lah. You know, like so I was like, why would I want to buy something and be number two? I can never overtake him, and like everybody's seen his binders, right? So I was like, why I want to be number two? So I have to find something else that nobody else is buying and is looking for at that point in time lah. So I started to buy shinings and crystals. Yeah, I would be quite confident to say I think I have the most number of shinings in Singapore for Japanese. Over 20 copies. So like because I bought them very, very early. Like I mean very early meaning like 4 months ago. Which like I mean everything went up like 4 times, right?
So a lot of things went up.
Yeah, so everyone now realizes that oh shit, shinings are like so undervalued. Like the Zart was like 40,000 $40,000 to $45,000 maybe 4 months ago.
First ad?
Shinings Japanese only.
Oh, Japanese, okay, Japanese. Okay.
Yeah, it was like 40k. Now it's 140k. Yeah, the magic card was like maybe a $8,000 USD card. Now it's 40,000. It's like crazy.
Okay, so I mean recently also this whole golden auction happened.
Yes.
You think that has to do anything with this upcoming or whatever is happening in terms of the scene?
I think there's a variety of reasons why grails are pumping. So first of all, like I said, I think the private equity money is one. But the other thing is also because China is being very aggressive in terms of buying now. And of course, you know, like it's so funny lah. But you know, can you imagine like maybe 6 to 8 months ago, right? If a vendor quoted you comps from Sneaker Dunk, you will slap him in the face, right? 100% is like, is so looked down on. Like if like comps is $100, you tell me Sneaker Dunk $200, I will slap you on it. I would 100% choose violence, you know. But now, right, everybody in Singapore and even people in the US, they're just like, oh, Sneaker Dunk buyback is this amount, so I want this price.
Because that's the benchmark, I guess.
But you know, but obviously the buyback price is there, but they may not pay that amount and they may not even be buying anymore because they already have enough. So that's a disclaimer that like I say, bro, if you can get this price from Singapore, why you want to sell to me at this price? Right. So like I think that is also another problem, which is like Japan is like pumping the shit out of these cards and when they may not actually be buying them back. And then for China, Poke Color auction, it's like you're reaching ridiculous prices for cards that doesn't even make sense. You know, so I give you an example. Shining Mewtwo sold for about 88,000 USD on Poke Color auction. And basically everybody in the world that has a copy started asking for that price. But none of them sold. Like they were still all available. Yeah, so like I ended up securing a copy for less because the seller is my friend. I was like, bro, like I don't know what you're smoking lah, but there's no way you're getting 88k USD for this. It's impossible lah. Because the pop is like there are other Pokemon. There are like Celebi is lower pop than the Mewtwo. But like Celebi is like it just sold for 16k. Then you tell me the Mewtwo is 88,000. Like what's the logic behind that? Like, you know, like the Zart, you tell me 100,000, 120,000. I can still solo lah because it's a Charizard ma. But what kind of premium are you putting on the Mewtwo? I don't understand. It makes no sense to me. You know? So I think because of all these things, like in Asia specifically now, in Japan, in China, like the way that they have their so-called own private market and then Chinese buyers coming over to sweep at prices that are below the China price and then bring it back. So it is pushing like prices up like very, very significantly. You know, so I think that if a reasonable vendor now would be someone that would be willing to sell you something at last sold plus maybe 20%, something like that. I think that is reasonable already. Like you cannot expect like below comms or like at last sale. Like it's impossible because there's so many people willing to pay more. So
especially with the higher end stuff.
Higher end stuff is like it's crazily impossible. So I mean we were recently also offered a full set of Gold Stars English PSA 10s.
Okay.
Yeah, so the seller wants a few million for it lah. But the thing is that we don't really buy English anymore, and then like I hate Gold Stars, so I'm just like even though
Ask your brother.
I did but he said it's a bit expensive but so he passed on it. But so that's why I think like I started buying into that, and then I also bought Level X's very early. Now they started to pump very recently. And then like so all those things that start pumping already, I'm like okay, I'm just gonna chill. Unless I can secure copies at the same price as my last copy, otherwise I'm no longer buying. Then have to look for
sensible.
because if I buy another copy at a higher price, my upside is just lower anyway.
Correct.
So it's fine. Then now we start to go into the six-figure territory, where recently now, I don't know what's happening, but a lot of people are buying trophies. They're buying Art Academy stuff and all that, right? But I think these cards are like super, super weird. Like I think they all look damn ugly. I don't understand why they are like worth six figures. And
I think it's because of the scarcity.
Yeah, but it's so ugly, bro. Like I cannot. I mean, I love making money, don't get me wrong. But I cannot bring myself to buy something that I really don't like.
I mean, like, but the thing is, it's like art, ma.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's subjective.
If you like it's subjective, right? You like the art, then you're like, oh, okay, this one very unique. I can relate to the, let's say, a freaking squirtle, kind of thing. Oh, I can relate to it, then buy lor. Kind of thing.
I mean, it's kind of pushing it but okay.
It is but that's the reality of how this high-end or going to high-end buyers, their thinking is like, to them, this is like chop chain.
It's like, okay, it's rare, and then I just want it lah. Okay, like that.
Very simple thinking.
But it's so hard lah. As in, I don't like it because, like I said, I think the liquidity portion is very important. So I cannot bring myself to buy something that I think is ugly or is not gonna be popular, and then risk not being able to sell it. So that's why like I try and avoid these things. And that's where my hatred from Gold Stars comes from.
Okay, very fair.
It comes from my love for Dark also actually. My love for my brother.
It's a fair thing like what you say. I mean, why would you want to be a number two to someone who has crazy collection on the item itself, right? So totally valid points.
So I think one of the other things that we talk about is a lot of things like the TPC level, right? A lot of things that you're is for the company, the business, and everything like that. I mean, I'm curious to sort of know like your personal collection. Like, what do you like while you're there hunting for things for the business and do you also hunt for what are you typically hunting for your own sort of like your own personal collection as well?
So it's very funny because actually at the start, I used to collect Snorlax.
Okay.
Yeah, but then. So because it's very funny but I love Snorlax as a Pokemon because he's everything that I aspire to be that I'm not. Okay. So I just want to be a lazy fat fuck that does nothing all day long. That's what I want to be, But I'm the complete opposite, which is I'm skinny and I'm working my brains off, and I'm just like, it's so funny. So I actually started collecting Snorlaxes just a couple of months before I joined DPC.
Okay.
And then I was doing research because as a collector, you just like, okay, what is the most expensive card for this Pokemon?
Yes.
Because I have to eventually get it, man.
Yeah.
So I went to do my research, and then I saw it was the LC Snorlax, the reverse hollow.
Yeah.
Right, and at that time, I think I saw it was something like $8,000 or maybe $14,000 or something lah. And then to me at that point in time, right, it was like, bro, $14,000 for a card, like wow. And then there's only like 18 in the world in a PSA 10 or something, right? So I was like, I'm never gonna be able to complete my collection. Why I collect this shit for what? So I just sold like I mean I think I had like 10 slaps like all the lame ones like the Tech Team Double R with the EV, the Master Ball, all these kind of small things. So I just like sold all of them. Then then when I saw the LC Snorlax in person, right, like 10 months later, I was like, shit, maybe I should have just kept my Snorlax collection, you know, because I have this now. But so I started with Snorlax, I saw all of it, mainly because I saw Kyle's collection also. I saw it at CCA at Marina Square. Then I was like, okay, I cannot be like this guy, too handsome really. I gave up. I really, literally the day after that, I started selling all my Snorlax cards. So after that, I was like, okay, I want to collect something that is affordable and I like it also. So like if I see it at a trade show, right, I can just buy without thinking. So I started collecting slowpokes. I have a slowpoke collection. It's actually in the vault, but I think I have like 30 or 40 slowpokes. Slowpoke, Slow King, Slow Bros, the Evo line.
Slow lines.
So every time I see one that I don't have, it's just like, hey, how much is this? Oh, it's $300. Okay, you know, I can just buy. I don't need to think so much. And then I ended up buying the LC reverse. It's like a few $1,000s and stuff. But that's what I collect. And then I also want to collect unknowns, as you know, because I thought it's like, I've never seen a master set of unknowns. So I thought it's super unique. And then I also find it funny that you can have all the letters and then like use it to spell out some not so nice things, you know. So
I don't know whether you all know, but you know the unknown V star? It's actually it's unknown V star. It's written as star.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, go and check.
That's the is it brilliance? No, Silver Tempest, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, Silver Tempest.
I didn't know that.
You go take a look. You can see the words there.
Right. So like if I get, you know, all the different letters that I can be like, you know, GAB, spell out my name, or like TPC and stuff. I thought it was like quite interesting.
It is.
Then like, you know, sometimes when you like, they are all super low pop because most of them are not even hollows. So nobody grades them. So when I come across one, I'm just like, oh my god, I found one. It's like damn cool. How much is it? Oh, it's like $80. Okay, bye. You know, don't even need to think about it. Like, so I collect those, and then my fiance, I also got her into collecting. So she likes Psyduck. So like
that's a very common. Now it's very common, really.
So I started buying all the Psyducks for her. Her collection is worth more than mine actually.
Oh, okay.
Because Psyducks.
Psyducks. There's a real fan base.
There's a lot of expensive Psyducks actually. So we always joke like, the tag team, right, with the slowpoke and the Psyduck. Like, that's the wedding photo, you know, like quite cute also lah. So that's what I personally collect lah. I think everything else like I would like to collect certain things like Shinings, but I feel a bit conflict of interest with the company lah. I try not to do that lah.
Okay, that's good.
I only slowpokes are for me lah, and unknowns.
That's good.
I mean, you also started new collection, right?
No. I just do it's just a PSA one.
Or social experiment.
Social experiment.
I mean, like if people know us, we both collect Gengars. But then now, like what you said, Gengars are is crazy price. Like I have to think twice whether I want to get it or not. But I also started a new collection solely because of like the prices for Gengars are crazy. Started collecting Ceruledge.
I think new gen Pokemon can.
I mean it's like what you say. I mean if it's how much? $20 for a raw copy. Take the whole.
But you never know. Maybe a Ceruledge all art today or the Chinese gem in today in 20 years time. As people grow up, they say, "Wow."
But to me, like what you say, I mean, if it's like a thing that you're collecting, and then if it's there, and there's multiple copies of it, I'll just buy out. And for same goes for the graded ones, lah.
So it's so funny because like for my own collection, right, I don't even keep track of what it's worth, but because I started buying basically, since the day I joined TVC, I started buying slowpokes for myself. So like there are some of the vintage ones, right? Like the Slow King from Wind from the Sea, all those like the
that was quite nice.
So I paid like maybe 250 Sing for them. Now I think they're over like a couple $1,000. But I haven't even checked, but I'm pretty sure like everything in my PC has gone up like 5x or something.
Crazy.
So it's like really is you collect what you like, what you can afford, and then like the money will just come also. So eventually, don't know lah. Maybe when went to buy house, then I sell my slowpoke collection for a couple $100K.
Pay for renovation. Now renovation very expensive.
Everything is so expensive.
Renovation.
I mean, that's the life of a Singaporean.
Last time BTO renovation, last time BTO, and I'm not talking very long. Maybe this is 2017. You want to do a renovation for a new BTO, typically won't cross $20,000.
Yeah.
Typically won't cross
Yeah,
20,000. Right?
yeah.
It's like if people spend more than 20,000 for your BTO, means you're
doing a
doing a
lot.
lot already. You're
Yeah.
being very extravagant.
Yeah.
No, you want a BTO, I think you can even do one room. I think
Yeah.
like
Wow.
I think I see a lot. All the
80K,
quotes 80K.
100K.
And I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But that's the standard of living in Singapore lah.
Yeah. Another topic for another day.
Watch out.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
okay,
goodness.
I mean we covered quite a lot of things, but do you, anything else you want to sort of share with our viewers? Like any
Yeah.
interesting do you have any projects you're coming up? Like people who see this podcast, like where should they kind of look out for you or TBC?
Yeah, I mean, they can just message us on Instagram. So it's like the private collectives. Most of the time it's me on the account. You know, and I think nothing much in terms of shouting. I would say that, you know, obviously since now there's a lot of money that's being involved in this hobby. Just don't be greedy and don't be too greedy lah. You know, and also be a bit more careful lah. Yeah. So you know, I think that's that lah. And just be nice lah. You know, like don't be 太过分 lah. I think some people it's kind of going to their heads, you know, and I think it's like the hobby is pretty much being decimated by people who. Like they no longer care about friendships really, you know. It's like wow,
It's all
just
about the money.
really.
Actually, I got a question actually.
Okay.
No, okay. So since you are dealing with all this high value stuff, and especially overseas, I haven't really seen in Singapore this kind of stuff that's happening in overseas, especially for fake slabs.
Okay.
Like for example, you know, recently, in social media, like we got see a few of them getting caught by the police, and you know, got one fella just ran, you know, kind of thing. So, have you ever encountered in your thus far lah, right? Encountered any of these kind of scenarios where you are dealing with something of high value, but then it turned out to be a fake slab?
So far, thankfully, no.
Okay.
I think, honestly, I don't think fake slabs are very common. I think what is more common is probably resealed slabs. Yeah, so they crack it open and they replace the card. That's probably a bit more common. I've not encountered one myself, thankfully. But I think one of my previous trips to the US, I was literally there when someone tried to sell a counterfeit box to one of the vendors.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and the vendor just straight up opened it on the spot and it was fake.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so but personally no.
But
I think-
you have seen this lah, like this kind of things.
but it's very. I think it's quite rare lah, because okay, for us, I would actually think that for high-end stuff, it's probably less likely to happen. Just because like the people who are dealing in high-end are typically very experienced.
Yeah.
So the odds of a fake slab being passed from one high-end vendor to another is quite low lah. Because we will all definitely check before we purchase. Yeah, but so I think that's not really an issue. But for silk product, I'm worried lah. I would be scared. So you know, thankfully we had our collection of silk products. So the stuff that we have, I think for me to identify whether it's legitimate or not is still okay because I have a reference. But let's say if it's a box I've never seen before, then if we do want to purchase it, we will either ask for temper seal, which all the high-end dealers they do it, temper seal with guarantee. Or I would just tell the seller like, okay, I'm going to rip it open, and if it's legit, I'll just buy it. So thankfully, because we have the customer base who they want to rip like it's crazy lah. Like, you know, like yesterday we just one of our customers just ripped like 30 packs of Neogen. So we have the client base for stuff like that. So we don't mind like okay, we just rip the box and verify it. But it does come by. When we were in Japan, we bought a Neogen pack, Japanese. It was fake,
and
resealed.
Okay.
The hit was a Pichu. Tear off a sticker, bro. But the shop owner gave us refund. It's our friend. So these kind of things do happen. But and I'm also very scared to buy poncho boxes. I think that is the
that's another
very, very likely to gonna scam one is that. But yeah, I think scammers like this kind probably not as common as thankfully lah. But I think if you are traveling overseas for trade shows and stuff, just be very careful because there's a lot of theft incidents. So you know, especially for us, we try to be very careful. We don't bring too much things with us and stuff like that because if someone recognizes us, then it's a problem lah. You know. Yeah, so I think that's just be careful lah in general. Singapore okay lah, it's okay, but
So far lah.
so far it's no incidents where someone robbed you outright, you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of thieves also are
Yeah,
at trade shows and stuff.
Every week.
Crazy man, I don't understand.
I mean, I would want to say like thrifty fuckers lah, but I mean there are you know, there are some people who like all the
hide under your phone.
don't know see me pattern or don't know where lah.
Hide your
Crazy
beard.
man.
Also have lah, I think can also.
Can.
But it's just have to be vigilant, I guess. Like, and I guess it's know your surrounding. But the thing is, when you go overseas, it's very difficult to know your surrounding
Have to be
because
careful.
it's new,
Yeah.
right?
So that's why we typically don't go alone.
Okay.
And that's why it's important to know international vendors also.
Yeah.
Or at least like, you know, it's like you're in a group.
Yeah.
Less likely it's going to happen if there's like 10, 15 people hanging out together.
Yeah,
If you're just one guy and then, you know,
That's
like
where things can happen.
Yeah, the guys that all kena one is usually the influencers. They put out a lot of content. These are the things that we are doing, blah blah blah. And then they are by themselves. And they walk out to the parking lot and then they kena rob. Right? Yeah, so it's crazy lah, you know.
Yeah.
So I think be very careful and you know, try not to flaunt too much lah. Like when we go overseas, we super low key one. I don't want anybody to know who I am, where I'm from, and stuff
Don't
like
wear
that.
this jacket. Don't wear this jacket.
We don't. All in plain clothes, one, bro.
Just black.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we cover quite a lot of things. I mean we really appreciate you coming onto the show and sharing with us. And yeah, if you are a high-end collector, you want to get into the high-end scene, you know, do message TBC and have a chat with Gabe. I'm sure that he'll, you know, if you have any slow pokes or any side ups or any unknowns in BSA, then also can contact
Very
you.
happy
alright?
to buy them
So yeah, but really thanks very much.
Hey,
Gabe.
thank you for having me.
You know.
It was very fun.
And then we'll see you at the next episode.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.